Hey everyone, welcome back to Investing Talk. Today we're going to be looking at Sunrun stock,
Ticker symbol RUN.
right, RUN. And we're looking at specifically March 10th, 2025. So kind of a snapshot in time. I think what a lot of our listeners are always interested in is understanding the forces at play in the market. Like how do things at the macro level filter down and affect, very specific investment?
Oh, absolutely.
So we're going to be looking at that today through the lens of Sunrun.
Yeah. And March 10th was an interesting day because we saw a lot of volatility in the market.
Right.
Big indices like the Dow and the Nasdaq had pretty substantial drops. And there was this, combination of anxieties, macroeconomic worries, inflation, are going to get it under control or not, and then, the impact of tariffs.
Right. Those policies continuing to play out.
Right. So that's kind of the backdrop that we're dealing with here.
Right. The stage is set with that.
Exactly.
Okay. So to help us really understand what happened with Sunrun on this day, we've got a few sources. We have a stock analysis report. We've got a news summary that's really focused on like price drivers, and then a technical analysis of the stock itself.
Cool.
And we're going to try to pull out, what are the real takeaways here? Like, what do you need to know about how Sunrun performed and what might that mean going forward?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so let's jump right in. First of all, just like the basic facts of the day.
So March 10th, Sunrun closed at $6.99.
Okay.
And that was down from its previous day's close, $7.16.
Okay, so a little bit of a dip.
Yeah, a little bit of a dip. And if we zoom out even further and look at, the past month, the stock actually saw a pretty significant decline.
Oh, really?
It was about a 16% decrease from February 10th when it was at 8.3298 to $6.96 by March 10th.
Okay, so that's not insignificant.
Not at all.
16% is a pretty big swing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to think about where the stock has been because, the year high was 9.900 cents. And if you go way back to 2020, it had a peak of $95.62.
Wow.
So, that really kind of shows you the trajectory of where this stock has been over time.
For sure.
And even within the day, on March 10th, the price bounced around a bit. It went up to like 7.571 cents, and it went down to $6.959, and it finally closed at $6.99.
Right. So, intraday volatility.
Exactly. Ups and downs. Okay, so that's what actually happened with the price.
Yeah.
What about the reasons behind this? Let's talk about their earnings. I know they released their Q4 2024 earnings.
Yeah, they did. And, it's kind of a mixed bag when you look at it. So the revenue came in at $518.49 million,
Okay.
which was a small increase, only like 0.4% year over year. But actually, it was slightly below what analysts were expecting.
Oh, interesting.
But then we look at their earnings per share, their EPS,
Right.
and that came in at $1.41. Which was a huge jump from the negative $1.33 they reported the previous year. And what's really interesting here is this number absolutely crushed analysts' expectations.
Oh, wow.
They were expecting around negative 27 cents. So that's quite a beat.
That's a big difference. Okay, so what explains that difference? Why was the EPS so much better than expected?
Well, there's a couple of things. One is their battery storage business. That's becoming increasingly important for residential solar.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then the other big driver was the investment tax credit. So the ITC was at 39.8%, which is really healthy.
Right. And can you just remind us, for those who might not be familiar, what the ITC is and why that matters?
Absolutely. So basically, the ITC is a government incentive. You can kind of think of it like a discount. It makes solar projects more financially attractive for consumers. And for companies like Sunrun, a higher ITC means they're making more profit on each new customer. And that all led to, record high net subscriber values for them. And that metric is basically saying the total profit they're expecting to get from each new customer over the life of their agreement.
Okay.
So record high there is a good sign. It suggests that they're acquiring customers that are more valuable.
Right. And then beyond the earnings themselves, there was also, I think, some good news on their cash flow.
Yes. Their Q4 2024 marked their third consecutive quarter of positive cash generation. And this is really encouraging. It signals that their financial health is improving, and that's particularly noteworthy given the current market conditions.
Right. So that's really positive news. Okay, so we've got the company's performance. But we also have to think about the context, right? The industry overall. It sounds like there were some headwinds facing the solar sector.
Yeah, there were some challenges.
What were some of those?
The sector as a whole was seeing declining revenues and a kind of softening of demand. And this seemed to be driven by a couple things. One, rising interest rates. That makes financing solar projects more expensive for consumers.
Sure.
And then the tariff-related cost increases.
Right, which we talked about earlier.
Right. So that was putting pressure on the sector.
Okay. And specifically for Sunrun, what were people saying? I know we looked at some ex-commentary.
Yeah, we did. And there were definitely different opinions. So some people saw this stock price, $6.99 as a buying opportunity. They were looking at the positive cash flow, the projections for 2025. They're predicting profits between 200 and 300 million.
Okay.
And so, the argument was, hey, the stock is undervalued.
Right.
But there are also some more bearish voices, and they were concerned about the market conditions, saying the solar sector as a whole might be in for a rough ride.
Okay.
So that's, the different perspectives.
And it's interesting. I know we also noted that the CFO was selling some shares. How should investors interpret something like that when you see those kinds of insider activities?
Yeah, that's something people always look at. So CFO Danny Abajian did sell some shares. And, there's a couple ways to interpret that. Maybe there's some internal caution about the company's near-term prospects. Or maybe it's just personal financial reasons. You never know.
Right.
But then we also saw Director Edward Fenster bought a bunch of shares around the same time. So that sends a different signal, right? It kind of depends on the context and the size of the transaction.
Sure. Okay, so we've looked at the fundamentals, the industry sentiment. What about the technical analysis? What was that telling us about the stock's movement?
Well, the technicals were leaning bearish. The stock price was below both its 50-day moving average, which was about $7.61, and its 200-day moving average at $8.01. And generally, when a stock is trading below these key averages, it signals a downward trend.
So kind of like we were saying, we're seeing that longer-term downward movement reflected in the technical.
Right, exactly.
And then there's also a mention of a death cross.
Yeah.
And that sounds kind of ominous.
It's not the most positive signal. A death cross happens when the 50-day moving average crosses below the 200-day moving average. So basically, you've got this short-term trend line dipping below the long-term trend line. And that suggests that the downward pressure might continue and that even if there's a bounce, it might just be temporary.
Okay, so not a great sign. But was there anything in the technical analysis that suggested maybe the selling pressure was easing up at all? I think there was a mention of the RSI.
Yes, so the 14-day RSI was around 35.
Okay.
And typically, if the RSI is below 30, that's considered oversold, which means the stock might be ready to rebound a little bit. So 35 isn't quite there, but it does suggest that maybe the selling pressure is starting to let up a little. But, the overall momentum still looks kind of weak.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what about specific price points? Did the analysis mention any support or resistance levels to watch?
It did. So it looks like there's immediate support at that recent low of 6.1797. So if the stock falls below that, it could be heading even lower. But then on the upside, there's resistance at that 50-day moving average, $7.61. And further up, around $8 near the 200-day moving average. And, we saw that the stock couldn't stay above $7.57 on March 10th. So that also points to some resistance around that level.
Right. Okay. And then finally, I think there was something about volume trends as well.
Yeah, that was interesting. So the analysis noted that whenever the stock price tried to go up recently, the trading volume was pretty low.
Okay.
But then on the drops, there was much higher volume. So basically, there's not a lot of strong buying interest behind those price increases.
So it's like a lack of, commitment.
Yeah, conviction, exactly. Investors often look for, increasing volume on price increases as a confirmation that the trend is real.
Makes sense. Okay. So we've looked at all this information. We've got the fundamentals, the sentiment, the technicals. So what does this all mean from an investment perspective? What were the sources suggesting?
So we saw arguments on both sides, right? There was the bull case and the bear case. The bull case, the optimistic case, really centers on this idea that Sunrun is actually undervalued.
Okay.
Especially at that $6.99 price. They're looking at the positive cash flow, the earnings growth, and, the fact that Sunrun is a leader in residential solar, especially with the battery storage piece. So, there's potential there. If the macro environment gets better, the stock could bounce back. Some analysts were even talking about a target price closer to that year high of 9.9 point now hotels.
Wow, so that would be a big gain.
Yeah, a significant upside. But then on the other hand, there's the bear case.
Right, the pessimistic view.
Right. And their argument is that the stock could go down even further in the short term. They're worried about those market sell-offs, the pressure on the solar sector, the tariff situation. They think it could retest that year low of 6.1797, maybe even go lower if the market keeps dropping.
Okay. And for someone who's listening to all this and is like, Okay, I don't know what to think. What should I do?
Hmm.
What was the kind of neutral approach being suggested?
The neutral approach is wait and see, be patient, pay attention to the inflation data that's coming out, see if the market can find some stability. Some people were talking about maybe buying below $6.50.
All right.
And if the price breaks above $7.50, that could be a sign that things are turning around.
Okay. So just like monitor the situation closely.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So looking at everything, all this data we've been discussing, what were some of the big takeaways, the key patterns that emerged?
A few things really jumped out. First of all, just how closely tied Sunrun's stock prices to the broader market.
Hmm.
When the market gets spooked by tariffs or fears of a recession, Sunrun feels it. But also, it's really important to remember their fundamentals. The positive cash flow, the fact that they beat earnings estimates, that shows some real strength, even though revenue growth wasn't amazing. And then this other interesting thing, Sunrun seems to be doing better than some other companies in the solar industry.
Right.
So that raises the question, why are they outperforming their peers in some areas? It's something to think about.
Right. So that maybe there's something specific about their business model or their strategy that's helping them navigate this tricky environment.
Exactly.
Okay. And then just as a quick reminder, what were some of the specific news items that were affecting the stock price?
Well, that big market sell-off on March 10th was definitely a big factor. The Dow and the Nasdaq taking a hit, and then the details of Sunrun's earnings, the revenue miss, the earnings beat, that was playing into investor sentiment. And then there were those insider transactions we talked about, the CFO selling shares, the director buying shares. What does that mean? And then there were also analysts, UBS upgrading the stock, BMO Capital lowering their price target. And we had news reports like that Barron's article talking about Sunrun hitting a 52-week low. So it's like all these different things are kind of swirling around.
Yeah.
And actually, it's worth noting that Sunrun's 16% drop in the past month was bigger than the S&P 500's decline over the same period.
Okay.
So that suggests there's something specific to Sunrun going on, not just the overall market.
Right. So it's a complex picture, right?
Exactly.
You've got these different forces all pushing and pulling. So for anyone listening who's interested in Sunrun or really any stock, it highlights how important it is to look at the whole picture, the fundamentals, the market context, everything.
Absolutely. And this whole situation with Sunrun just really shows how, things at the macro level, the overall economy, industry trends, it all plays a role. So when you're looking at investments, you got to think about your own goals, your own risk tolerance, and how all these factors might affect the companies you're interested in.
Great advice.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Sunrun. And for everyone listening, if you found this helpful, please subscribe, like, and leave us a comment.